And welcome back. So, going into the Annex 1 arc, which is a lot more long than the other arcs. So
Yeah, what was it, 4 episodes?
Yeah, so you're getting like a whole bunch
Double
more
the value.
Yeah, so you're getting a whole bunch more character development as well. And so of these characters, before we get into too much plot-wise, are there any that stand out?
I thought Marcus was pretty cool. He's like Marcus and Alex, how they were pretty much I wouldn't say like their childlike innocence, but they're just always mucking around in that. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Shokichi's back and his beard's like, and he's still got the mullet, which was like, fuck yeah. Actually, people returning that I know, not having to make a new, and he's captain this time.
Yeah.
Like, that's fucking
Well,
awesome.
he's the dude that's most qualified to go back to Mars. So, yeah. What do you think of people like Hizumaru, who is the new prospect who they found fighting a bear?
Oh yes, fucking! I'm just like, what the fuck? He's getting his gizzards all eaten out by Brian the bear. Something I can remember the bear's name. No, he's from America, but he practiced no martial arts.
Yeah,
that fucking announcer. Yeah, he's pretty cool. He's fucking as the main thing with Terra Formars, just like depressing shit. He's just like his first love has got this rare disease that he's trying to get money for to get a transplant into a foreign hospital, and basically goes into like an underground cage match, and yeah, she dies. It was like, oh man, the fucking love interest can't have a love interest in Terra Formars.
So, Hizumaru, you obviously like the fact that, he fights bears and whatnot. That's a pretty cool thing to do.
He runs up the 15-foot cage, he's just like, I hope. I'm like, what is he just gonna body slam this bear and just puts it into like a chokehold and shit? Doesn't work.
Yeah, well, it's a bear.
Maka would be happy.
Yeah, or maybe he'd be super unhappy considering the winner of that fight.
Yeah.
But, what do you think of Michelle K. Davis?
I thought it was hilarious how, what was it, just, fucking she catches, him...
Hizumaru, yeah.
Yeah, Hizumaru, peeping on her in the bed, when he's in hospital, and it's just like, I'll let that go this time, but next time I'm gonna kick your ass. Or it's just like, yeah, there's a tube attached to your dick.
Yeah.
I attached it. And he's, what the fuck? No, I'm just joking. She has a very quirky sense of humor, which I thought was kind of funny.
Yeah, I really like Michelle.
And she seems like she can hold her own. So
Yeah, definitely. And
she is second in charge of the whole
yeah, and it's cool to see Kay Davies come back on a mission. So yeah, out of all of the people you've met, who's your favourite character? Like including Bugs 1, Bugs 2.
I know. Tin's Tin's still probably one of my favourites. I think he's fucking awesome. And they even reference him in this. It's just like, you got that fighting spirit like someone that I know.
Yeah.
Someone that I knew. He died on Mars. I'm like, oh.
But yeah, so there's this thing. I'm gonna throw a summary in there, and then Ryan's gonna continue talking. Here's the plot summary. There's something new called the Alien Engine Virus, or the AE virus, and it showed up roughly the same time as the Bugs 1 mission when they went to Mars for the first time.
And then 20 years later, when Bugs 2 came back, it spiked.
And
it's what, 100% death rate.
There's no new way. Well, there is no way to cure it. And the thing is, they're like, okay, we got to go to Mars and see if we can find this particular strain of bacteria or this particular strain of virus up on Mars, because it just doesn't exist on Earth. So we can only assume that, given the time of the, disease starting and when it spiked, that it must have something to do with Mars. So here's the mission. We're going to send guys off to Mars, because if this thing keeps spreading like it does, there's a chance we'll all die.
There will be no humans.
Yeah. So a little more different. It's a little more dire now. We have to start going to Mars.
Yeah.
So we have to start going back. Now, out of all these people, out of all these 100 or so people, including Shokichi, I've got to ask, do you see good things happening to these 100 people? Or?
They're more prepared. They're like, because when they landed, there was like, the roaches themselves, or the terraformers, they had learnt from the Bugs 2 mission, and some of them have evolved to have can't remember the Israeli.
Godly.
Yeah, have
'Cause
like
he's so godly.
the fire, like the bug that shoots all the gas out of its stomach.
Yeah.
They've got that in their backs and in some of their hands. Someone's like, they've evolved even further, and it's just like they're making tools now, so they are officially intelligent, like an intelligent race.
Scary. So they go off to Mars. Now, right off the bat, what's something that happens before they even get to the planet, Ryan?
Basically, there's 6 terraformers on the ship, and it's just like, basically, it's led to believe that it was the UNASA. Fucking UNASA are assholes.
Yeah.
They're just like, yeah, here we go. We've got 6 of them, possibly take out the leaders. I don't know why. It's like, possibly.
Let's sabotage our own mission to save our race.
Good work, guys. But then they're like, yeah, you can't turn back because we've invested too much money. Like, that's fucked.
Now, the thing that was a particular oh fuck moment to me is when they're just like, quickly go and get, the medicine. And then they just go in there and it's like, no. Yeah.
And I'm like, no. Shot up into a ball and just.
So, we're just going to go over. This causes them all to spread out on Mars and try and get as far away before, so the roaches can't
Delta.
follow. Yes. And this is so that they can all go in different directions. The roaches will hopefully only be able to follow a few of them. Hopefully. And then they'll all meet up back at the main Annex one. Yeah. So
the thing is, they only got a limited supply. Each of those shuttles, they only had a small supply of medicine. Medicine is what they're calling it now.
So medicine doesn't have to be injected into your neck anymore. So there are different ways of, if you're not, comfortable with that. Some people like Shokichi still do it just because he's just like,
old school.
Yeah, he's an old school dude. He's like, well, it fucking worked the first time, right? Let's not change
anything.
anything.
But it makes me think, like, because he didn't, like, in the 4 episodes I saw, he didn't get to actually inject. He was going to.
Yeah.
But he, because he got his stingers ripped off.
Yeah.
I'm just like, will his stingers grow back? Or is he just going to be, like, blunt and it's just going to be filed off and he's going to be just impaling people like that?
I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But,
these are questions that need answering.
So, we're just going to go from the people that you saw with the least amount of screen time. So the squad leader for China, Liu, he went off in one direction, and apart from that, any thoughts on him? They're very little.
Yeah, I can bet, because he got so much, and because he didn't talk at all, and it's just like, and when they showed like the 6 leaders, he was like in the back, or like off to the side, so I can't really remember anything about him at the moment, so I just have to wait and see.
So the leader of the European and African team, Joseph, he was the next guy that we saw very little.
Joseph was cool. He seems to be what was he? He's just like flirting with almost every chick on board.
Yeah.
And Shokichi said,
I'll just try that again.
Shokichi said, it's like, Michelle and Joseph are single, and so am I.
Yeah.
Just to let you know.
Yeah. What an announcement to make on a mission.
We've got 40 days.
Yeah, who knows what's going to happen, right? So
but you got to keep your body strong.
Yeah, exactly. So apart from those guys, we talked about Michelle, we talked about Shokichi, but what about Sylvester, the Russian leader?
Yeah, well, he seemed a bit like a dick. He's maybe because he's too overconfident. But I kind of expect that from like the stereotypical Russian dude.
Yeah.
How he pushes Ivan's sister Elena out of the way and gets his right arm ripped off, and he's just like, fucking doesn't even give a shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, poor Elena, just like, we'll give her the gun. And yeah, he used, like, the roach uses the fucking the
burst
gas
of speed that they get,
just ripped off her head. And don't worry, Ivan, we'll give your sister the gun. She'll be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And yeah, Ivan's just like, fucking, it's gonna freak you out.
You lied! And so, the last squad leader that we haven't talked about is, what do you think of Adolf?
Adolf is cool.
Which is a sentence that you never thought you'd say.
Don't take that out of context.
2014. Adolf is cool, Ryan.
Oh no.
Get the posters started now.
I thought it was funny how it's like he was in charge of Germany and South America. I'm just like...
Correlations, maybe?
Maybe.
There's no proof. No
proof at all.
But yeah, so...
But yeah, he just, just seemed like a very, like, logical guy. He's just like, science, like, as Jesse would say, the science dude.
Science dude. Cool. Well, yeah, so they got down to Mars. They spread out in all the different directions. Unfortunately for Joseph and the European guys, they went right into a massive
like nest.
Yeah,
I
so
suppose
it's
is what
like
you call
a whole bunch of them. So already we're not sure how they're gonna go.
Stomping and punching the guys. Oh yeah. So this is why we spread out.
Yeah. So one of the cool things we start learning about, the fact that people on Mars have a Mars ranking. And Mars rankings are like, okay, out of the 100 people, this is what we think you'll be ranked, your possibility of living. Now, when it came down to a couple of people, like Marcus happened to be a badass. When I saw this, I was like, holy shit, I love Marcus, just because he is one of the people that are very reminiscent of, like, Zhang, Tin, and Shokichi in Bugs 2, how it's like, fucking shit up.
Yeah.
And I was telling this to Ryan earlier, but the Terra Formars, I fucking love it when they get the shit kicked out of them, because I hate them so much. I'm just like, you guys have caused so much hell on people. And so when I see them get
to die.
Yeah, when, the humans get a little get back on the Terra Formars, I'm just like, feels so good, man. Feels good, man.
I think they're the most, like, they're just how they're drawn in that. They're just so off-putting.
Yeah.
And just sends, like, a shiver up my spine. And I think it's the most, like, sort of off-putting alien since, like, Alien, from the Alien series.
Yeah.
Because it's just, like, ever since, like, because, that's...
And trust us, that's like a massive compliment. We're not just saying, oh, it's in the same league. We're just saying, when you take a look at the Terra Formars and you see how the story is, written around them and how they are, it's very threatening. And I actually agree with Ryan in the huge statement that, since the Xenomorph from Aliens, these guys are the most hateable and definitely dangerous aliens that I've seen in a long time. So
I would actually like to see that fight, like a Xenomorph versus a fucking...
I think that since they both evolve differently, it depends on whether or not Facehugger can, get on a terraform.
Oh, I'm just saying like a warrior class.
Well, that's the thing. If they kill one of the Xenomorphs, they'll go back and they'll be like, okay, now we have the ability to, drip acid, blood, and shit.
Oh, Jesus.
So it's like, yeah, I'm almost going to chalk that up to the terraformers, but only time will tell if that ever happens. So please don't let that happen for the sake of humanity. Favorite squad?
At the moment, it's probably Squad USA.
Squad USA. So is that number 1 led by Shokichi or number 2 led by Michelle? Okay, cool.
Shokichi.
So
just
Squad USA in
Shokichi's
Japan.
a badass. It's just like fucking. What was it? He didn't even use his medicine. And the thing is about all the captains, I'm gonna call them.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't call them like lieutenants, because like Shokichi's obviously the only captain. But like the lieutenants, they're all
officers.
Yeah. So all the officers, they're just like, because we know that the roaches have the ability to evolve, so we're gonna one up them, and we're gonna make something they can't steal. Is gonna make all these officers basically like super soldiers.
So, of the super soldiers, Shokichi's still your favorite?
Still my favorite.
Cool. Now we have to talk about a couple of deaths that happened. So obviously Elena was one that happened once again. You feel that it was like I'm more on the side that it was kind of an error in judgment by Sylvester's path, rather than arrogance. I get that most of the stereotypical Russian is just like Russia can do everything.
Yeah.
But like I feel like it was more an error in judgment, and he wasn't expecting the fact for them to have the ability to do that. But someone else
once again, sort of, it was a love interest, but it was family connection. So
yeah.
Don't go to Mars with a love interest.
Yeah, exactly.
Or family.
Now, for Eva, or Ava, depending on how you want to say it, I think that she's got a lot of trouble like ahead of her with like, what is it, rank 100 pretty much.
Yeah, it's just like, but Adolf was a good guy.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was just like, oh, don't worry, there is 99 other people to be there with you, so...
Yeah, so
But I felt so sorry for her, because I thought that on Annex 1, when the original 6 terraformers were there, she was going to die.
Yeah.
Because she got cornered, and she unfortunately messed herself.
Yeah.
And, but then Adolf was just like, threw her towel afterwards, like, clean it up.
Clean stuff up.
Yeah, and clean it up, because, basically,
being where
slippages, is unsafe.
So,
I'm just like, oh...
And also someone else that died, and I think probably the most impactful death so far.
Because they put so much fucking time into the character, I was like, no!
I wasn't expecting her to die.
No.
Even though she broke the rule that don't be a love interest and go to Mars.
As soon as that happened, I'm like, oh, she's gonna die.
So, Sheila.
coming. Yeah. And even like Marcus and Alex
Yeah.
sort of had a thing for her because
Yeah.
they grew up together in Mexico.
Yeah.
And but Sheila like the captain, and then I'm like, he held her in our arms when she was dying.
Yeah. And
He knew. He instantly knew.
well, she was trying to like mouth out words to him, but
In
it's like
Japanese
yeah,
as well.
didn't have.
So that's how it
yeah.
could like lip read.
And it's like, you know, it's heart wrenching because you see her and she's just not able to speak because
She's
like,
got a hole in
yeah.
her chest, so
So
she
she
can't
can't-
get any
yeah.
air into her lungs.
And so she mouths the Japanese
And
term
you can literally hear like
Yeah.
out of the hole.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man,
and yeah,
fucking Terra Formars.
exactly right. So which leads to our final set of questions, which so this is covering the first 4 episodes of the Annex arc. And
All out war.
1, are you looking forward to more?
Yes, I'm like, this is the kind of thing I was hoping they would do in Bugs 2,
Mhm.
but they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad to see it. But now that the Terraformers have evolved even more, it just like be interesting to see if they picked up anything else from any of the other Bugs 2 crew. Like I know they picked up like that the later one picked up the ability to make silk.
Yeah.
He's got clothes on. He's fucking dirt boy. Fucking son of a
I
bitch.
fucking hate him, but I can just put that right out there. But and final question, do you think it's gonna get better for our guys, or is it gonna get worse?
No, there's gonna be more bloodshed. There's gonna be more deaths, possibly more love interests with equal more deaths. Yeah, I can only see maybe if lucky 2 squads will be enough to make 2 squads out of the rest. So I'm seeing less than probably like 20 people might survive the whole Annex 1 mission, because they got 40 days on Mars before rescue, and I'm like, who are they going to send? Because it took 2 years to train all these guys up.
And the thing is, they have to capture live samples as well, so it's like they just can't go around killing everyone. They have to make sure that they capture some live terraformers and then transport them back home.
But the thing is, now they're going to have to like, alright, we're going to have to cut off their hands so they can't shoot the gas out of their hands. But
Yeah.
they're going to have to assume that every single one of them can do that.
Yeah,
So it's just like, fuck. It's
it's gonna be rough.
yeah. Though Mars is looking a bit better.
Mars. Don't go there anytime soon. It's not the greatest holiday destination.
Well, it freaked me out that yesterday they're just like, oh yeah, we've improved our rocket. Like NASA came out, it's like, we've improved our rocket so we'll be able to get to Mars quicker. I'm like,
no.
it's happening.
Oh, so yeah, there you go, guys. On that note, we're going to end this small review for the first 4 episodes of the Annex 1 arc. We're going to be following along and try and go 4 episodes at a time until we catch up, so check back here every week until then. And until next time, guys, stay the fuck out of Mars.
Fuck you, Terraformers.